You know, every form of knowledge is created from imagination. Every form of knowledge. But those who create knowledge are not many. And before imagination can create knowledge, imagination should be inspired by vision. In chapter 11:6 of Genesis, that imagination there was created from understanding. I mean, the imagination created the knowledge that God couldn't doubt. Now, the origin of that imagination was vision. Something is clear. And then people are patterned. I will show you why they are patterned. And the Lord said, behold, the people is one, and they have all one language. And this is, they began to do, and now nothing shall be restrained from them.
Which they have imagined.
Which they have imagined to do. That is, now if you look at verse 2 there, the book of Genesis 11, verse 2.
And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there.
All right, verse number 4. And they say, go to.
Let us build us a city and a tower, whose top may reach unto heaven.
That let us make us a name.
Lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the earth.
That is coded. That is definition of vision. Listen, if you're here, you're a mother. There cannot be greatness until there is proper definition of form. Whatever that is blood can rule. And it cannot be protected. Can I say it again? I say whatever that is blood can rule. That is, this thing is not definite. Why will you trust it? Habakkuk chapter 2, 1, 2, 3. The story of ego tell us the ego, the eyes of ego. That is why you cannot talk about vision without talking about ego. And we are bringing ego to vision because of the eyes of ego that can see 2 kilometers. He said, write the vision down, make plain upon tables. Let them read. He said, I will watch upon my tower and seek upon tower and watch to see what he will say unto me, and I will answer when I'm reproved. And the Lord said, answered and said,
write the vision and make
it
plain
upon table, that they might run that readeth it. For the vision is yet
an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak.
Not like though it tarries.
Wait for it, because it will surely come.
11:25 of the book of Hebrews. Moses, by creative understanding that came from imagination, refused to answer. Wait, 23. 23. By faith, when he was born, was he 3 months of his parents, because they saw he was a proper child. They were not afraid of the king's commandment. 24.
By faith, Moses, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter.
Refused, go ahead.
Choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of God than to enjoy the pleasure of sin for a season.
Number 26.
Esteeming the reproach of Christ greater riches than the treasures in Egypt, for he had respect unto the recompense of the reward.
Number 27, the last.
By faith he forsook Egypt, not fearing the wrath of the king, for he are seeing him who is invisible.
There was a sin before learning. There was a sin before learning. Sin must control learning. Imagination must control learning. If you don't know who you are, don't learn. Allow who you are to tell you what to learn. I told you, I said, I learn in my rank. So I know my rank before I start learning. Imagination tells me my rank. So, 29:18 of Proverbs. Where there is no vision, the people perish. But he that keepeth the law,
happy is he.
Listen, there are people who are learning and they're still perishing. PhD microbiology, professor of anatomy, professor emeritus of hibiscus. Satan is a mockery. You see, they can have PhD on anything because their knowledge does not have support from imagination. It was not inspired. You took Bible, you read wrong part because there's no binocular that guide them like Jesus where you should read. Do you know why I'm talking? Can I tell you why I'm talking what I'm talking? Can I tell you why? The Satan uses senselessness and confusion to make man valueless. Say man is a hollow. He walks into an empty earth. He's walking up and down. He can live anywhere. He can travel to any part of the world. His life does not have direction. Those walking up and down is inspired by death, lack of direction. You see, because if that life have value, that life will not be subjected to confusion. Do you know the horror of living continuously roundabout mistakes? Instead of following a step and going up, you go around in something that's blocked. A problem shows up this way, another problem shows up this way, another problem shows up this way, and then tomorrow somebody solves this one, next tomorrow solve this one, the other day solve the one. The ladder that will take him up is there's no climbing. You can't see the ladder. So he's there wasting his life solving problems. And these are problems that will die naturally in the ladder. So why I know it's correct is that while I was growing up, even now, some people try to call my attention to things by the side, and I don't look. You can't force me to look. My eyes, like Apostle Paul, is on the mark, and I will never turn. If you have children, 5, and their eyes is on the mark, and even if the oldest one is only 25, and the remaining ones are under, suffering will end in the family with direction. They will not bother you. At least if they cannot solve problem, they should not create. Where there is no confusion, problem will not be created. I thought you should clap for what I just said. I said, where there are no confusion, problems will not be created. If you cannot solve the problem you made, then don't create first. Those who follow ladder of vision don't create problems. You came out when you're not supposed to come out. Policemen arrested you by 1 o'clock. And then you give them the phone number of your uncle or your cousin. And there's somebody who is sleeping by 2. Your call wake him up and say, uncle, go come and help me. Where did you go? He said, I'm in police station. How do you get there? You're vile. You're just vile. You created a problem for a man that should be sleeping. Because you came out when you're not supposed to come out. If you cannot solve a problem, don't create. Anytime vision is clear, is what? Is clear. Families will move forward. At least if they can't solve problem, they will not be creating. Did you clap hand for what I just said? You don't create problem for your parents in the ladder of vision. It will take wandering up and down to keep creating problems. It's just like what the Bible said. Somebody whose snake must bite must walk out of the path of security. And then walking out of the path of security is walking out of the path of vision. Intentionally. There is no righteousness in visionlessness. Write down your paper. Don't allow somebody who is not living faithfully to say he's a good man. It's not true. The living light of God shield our organs from the spell of darkness. Let me help you properly. The capital job of light is to shield men. And the capital job of darkness is to break shield. The reason that Jesus conquered death, it was because the light of Christ shielded his organs through meditation. Anybody who don't want to be touched, or who don't want to die,